Finish those? Can I have one?
Cheese curds?
Look at Davenport's going after the. This is her.
Babsy.
This is her Scandinavian heritage lineage.
Let's stop.
She's secretly from Wisconsin, Don Davenport.
That's right. I like cheese.
You know why? That we will always have a Titans guy on Tuesday? Because it's game week.
It is game week.
That's why, people.
Titans, Arizona Cardinals coming up this weekend, and we will begin to break it down. We're also going to look at what happened over the weekend in college football. We'll get involved in that. Titans restructuring Julio Jones deal. Why? Lot to get to, man. And we're going to talk all kinds of football, no doubt about it. Today, we've got Jim Wyatt. We've got Mike Keith. We've got Buck Rising at 4:20.
Oh, that's appropriate.
Why is that?
That's the time he can come in.
You know, because it's a nice shift to a little bit earlier. His show's earlier. You know, yeah.
I mean, that's
He can get a nap in.
that's when people customarily hit the slow jams.
Wasn't true.
So Buck Rising at 4:20.
Yeah.
He said
We had to move him.
He said I might be a little more relaxed today at that point.
Good.
So yeah, Mike Keith and Buck Rising usually join us on Mondays, but we weren't here. Will Bowling sat in and talked a lot about soccer, I have a feeling. Yes, he did. He fist pumped.
Sounds like Will.
Was Davey Shepard with you? Is that what you said? Yes. Okay, so we appreciate those guys yesterday filling in. Who else do we have today? Alan Bell at 4:45. We'll already go ahead and get you ramped up for the NFL season, which starts the day after tomorrow.
Oh, doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that just feel good? Don't you just feel it running through your veins?
It's a bubbling.
Just bring it to me, man. And it's the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. And everybody, Dallas Cowboys, America's team, for 1 week. And then they'll get blasted by Tom Brady.
So will.
Right? And then we'll see what Dak Prescott looks like. I mean, I'm anxious to see that. But football starts day after tomorrow. By the way.
Well, the Cowboys as well, converting some of Dak's base salary into a signing bonus as well. So a couple of teams doing that. Cowboys doing it. Obviously, Titans did it with Julio Jones. So that can play into that conversation as well.
Tampa Bay they opened as a 6-point favorite. They are now an 8-point favorite. Buccaneers over the Cowboys. Tennessee and Arizona, Titans a 3-point favorite in that one. So basically that's home field. But how great is that going to look Sunday with fans in the stands in an NFL game and as full of capacity as you want to have it? It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to the other game that my eyes gravitated towards, Jacksonville and Houston.
Huh. Dumpster versus dumpster.
If Houston, Tyrod Taylor.
Juice versus fire?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Who wins, Juice and fire?
Ooh. That's a bad.
That's a stinking one, boy.
I'm fascinated by this fest here. I am just fascinated by what's going to happen.
Jags a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Could you imagine will Urban Meyer's head explode right off his shoulders if they lost to Tyrod Taylor and the Houston Texans?
100%.
Without question.
This isn't how it's supposed to be.
Oh, he would lose it.
I sounded like the Cookie Monster there.
the Jags PR team. Yes, you did. The Jags PR team would have to come up with all kinds of press releases to cover for whatever he says in the postgame presser if they lose.
By the way, speaking of gambling, they did a study that suggests 36% more Americans will bet on football this year than last.
Yeah, it's legal and easy. You pull up an app on your phone and jump in.
You guys were trying to talk me down over the weekend. There was a running thread going through my brain about Ole Miss and the 9.5.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I loved it so much that I bet it again. And then Lane Kiffin. So I bet it twice. And then Lane Kiffin. And I don't bet a lot on any specific game, $10, $15, $20, something like that. And so then Lane Kiffin's not going to coach on the sideline. So I sent him a message on Twitter. I'm like, hey, bro, I'd much rather see you on the sideline. He liked it, which was funny. But then you and I started talking about, you know what? I mean, Lane's the play caller, but they'll be okay at OC.
Lebby does a good job.
He does.
There was a lot. I mean, there's talk about him for a bunch of big jobs that were open.
And so your Arkansas, we use states and cities for curse words on this show. Your Arkansas talked me into more money on Ole Miss. Yeah, it went down. Remember, I told you, I was like, man, I really should go the other way to kind of curb some of this.
Can I say?
But you got me excited about Levy. I was like, I forgot about Levy.
Okay, I didn't talk you into any. You asked. You said, well, you think I should. Oh, you know what? I bet I'm going to go more. I'm like, no. Why would you do that? I mean, you're already in on it. You're fine. You're in on it.
I'm in on it twice.
You don't have to go deeper because what if I'm wrong?
You know what hurt me?
She got me excited, though.
But I wish you would have got me unexcited.
Real quick, because you're going a different angle.
You know I'm going a different angle.
So she gets me excited. The line goes to 8.5 while we're talking.
Yeah.
So I dump more into Ole Miss. I won big.
I was going to say, it worked out nice like for you.
So now I'm like not going to do anything for a minute.
Are you all in on dumping money on Matt Corral for Heisman now?
See, I love Matt Corral. I love me some Matt Corral.
I did not love him when he sat with us at the table for SEC
it was totally different than what he showed out there.
Yeah.
He was totally, if we would have got that Matt Corral sitting with us.
I know. Like, hey, you have a pulse, dude?
Exactly.
You know what it was like? It was like a guy talking to his probation officer. That's what that conversation was like. Like you don't want to give too much information.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what?
Like, are we scary or intimidating or something?
Well,
I blame Slay.
Probably.
No, you, Babs.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Babs, you hurt me. And I should have listened to you. You said Ole Miss's defense would be a little bit better. It should be a little bit better.
And then
that
Chris
was
Lowe
the
said
problem.
The same thing. Yep.
That was the problem with betting with Ole Miss. I thought they were going to hit the over. And I still feel like if Lane was there, it would have been some checks at the line of scrimmage, because he sees things totally different when he's on the field and calling plays. But, I mean, he did a terrific job, the guys filling in. But it's nothing like when Lane's there. So I'm going to make up for it when Lane gets back. And I'm going to bet the over again. And I know I'm going to score. I just thought Louisville could at least get 25, 30 points. Like, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. But
Ole Miss's defense is better. And
what about the part?
That is scary for the SEC.
Yeah.
Watch out, because what we were talking this morning, Mayor, and they've got Austin P next, and then I forget after that. Yeah, love you guys. This is going to be a tough one. And then another cupcake, and then it's Alabama.
Yeah.
So they basically have 3 weeks here to get it going, ramp it all up, and get ready for Nick Saban, which, they dropped, 40-something on Alabama last year.
Yep, they sure did. It's going to be interesting to watch. But, man.
You want to talk about that parlay you had with TSU and Louisville? And
Is that where you thought he was going?
That's what I did. I got caught. My emotions got involved.
Your emotions got involved.
Can't do that.
TSU was giving up. I know it, but I'm like, man, look at the atmosphere. Eddie George running out there. I saw Hugh out there on the sideline. I'm like, oh, this is it. And then the running back for TSU, who went to Cambridge, is really good. Last name Starling. Told it to rock good. I'm like, man, they're going to be in control. They just couldn't get off the field against Grambling. And I didn't know what Grambling had, but I was putting all my eggs in one basket because I was trying to make up for what LSU did. And it's just a lot. I got a lot going on.
I told you,
did.
After week 0 that UCLA,
you did.
I wasn't sold on their quarterback, but I'm like, they have an SEC running back in Charbonnet. They have an offensive line that is physical, that can play with the SEC in the trenches. I don't know about their quarterback, but there you go.
Yeah, hey, they look good.
Yeah,
but I went in feeling like
Blue will get you.
Yeah, I was going to say. I went in feeling like Coach O was feeling when he was walking in the stadium. So, I mean, me and Coach O felt the same, and that wasn't it. So,
Titans Cardinals coming up this weekend. We'll start a conversation about that when we come back. Also, our thoughts from the weekend of college football. What did you think? Vanderbilt with an historically bad loss. I've got an unbelievable stat for that for you when we come back. Buffalo Wild Wings, Nashville West, that's where we are. Darrynton Evans, Titans running back, will be here about 5 o'clock. So if you want to come get a picture, meet Darrynton Evans, get an autograph. Do people still do autographs?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? There's a lot of college players making a whole lot of money because of NIL on their autographs. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Darrynton Evans will not charge you. But anyway,
it's free.
Yeah, come have some wings and drink some beer. We'll be here. Buffalo Wild Wings, Nashville West, 3HL, 104.5 The Zone. Appreciate you being with us on this Tuesday afternoon in the Music City. You could literally be with us. We're out and about today.
Man, I love being out and about.
They let us out.
Sometimes that happens.
Outside.
We're on the west side.
We out of the building.
And we out the building, but into another building.
Oh, yeah, we never did that.
Huh?
Hey, there's Ron Slay.
Tell the people where we at. I'm in the building. Hey, I'm in the building. 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 Honk tried to do your walk while you were out too bad.
Oh, no, Hunk.
Oh, he did.
No.
He
How'd
He
you
was
do?
stepping.
yeah.
I mean, I forgot he did it. I forgot he did it, so it couldn't have been that great. Yeah, we take one day off, and we just totally get discombobulated over
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
But every Tuesday, we're going to broadcast live our Tuesday football feast at Buffalo Wild Wings. Stop by each week throughout the regular season as Brent, Dawn, and Ron of 3HL, I'm just reading, broadcast live from local Buffalo Wild Wings.
You're so good.
Dawn and Ron.
You're so good at
Sounds like a
Don Ron.
Chinese restaurant.
Brent Don Ron.
Local Buffalo Wild Wings, he said, and visit with select Tennessee Titans players from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for chances to get autographs, win tickets, and more. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. For more information, 1045thezone.com/TFF. Darrynton Evans, the player today.
That's going to be fun.
How frustrated do you think that guy is, man? Coming off that rookie season with all the injury problems and now battling again with something on injured reserve already. So, good dude, awesome college player, and can be a really good dual threat guy to
Do a threat, change the pace, everything.
Yeah.
Complimentary, yes.
Complimentary back for
Darren.
the King. Yes.
Yep.
The King.
Gives us a lot of options.
I can't wait until Monday when Dawn says, there were a few runs in there where Derrick Henry just didn't run hard.
Looked a little soft to me. I'm hoping this is the year that I don't say that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I was right last year.
I think he heard you, and he's like, hey, man.
Turn it up.
Here comes 2,000 yards.
Yeah. I hope you say it again. Say it early this time. Say it Monday, Babs.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Vandy got ripped by an FCS team over the weekend. You were there. East Tennessee State boat raced the Commodores 23-3. Vandy was 5 of 15 on third down. They ran the ball 31 times for 85 yards against an FCS school. 3 turnovers killed them. All of them were in the fourth quarter.
I know. Because I'm thinking in my head, did I do this to them? Because I thought they were going to come out and have a good showing.
I thought Ken Seals was going to have a great game.
This is another emotional pick by me.
Oh, you went Vandy minus 21.5?
No, I most definitely didn't. But I'm just saying, I did think.
He didn't go there.
No, I ain't go that far. But I did think it was going to be a good show. And no points?
You want me to keep going?
Please.
Yeah. What are some of the other numbers?
Pretty
And then I'll give my take from standing there watching it 5 feet away.
ETSU was picked 4th in the Southern Conference, so thank God Vandy didn't play the other 3 teams that ranked ahead of them.
ETSU is better than that pick. But go ahead.
Plus, to be fair, they played in the spring also.
Correct.
ETSU did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little cheat code.
Cheat code? Yep. This was East Tennessee State's first win over a Power 5 school since they upset NC State in 1987, 34 years ago.
Their defensive coordinator this year was a player on that team for that win.
Wow.
Yep.
Why did you happen to already know that note?
Wow. That's a stat.
No.
Were you preparing for something?
Babs go to work.
It just came up during prep work.
Okay. That's an amazing
It's just out there.
bit right there. I'm sorry, Vandy. I love y'all. But, it happened. So, when Tennessee lost to Georgia State, we rattled off some of this stuff.
Yes.
Too. Vandy is the first SEC school to lose to an FCS team since 2015 when South Carolina lost to the Citadel. Keep Citadel in your mind. It's coming back. Vandy plays at Colorado State Saturday. The Rams also lost to an FCS team over the weekend. South Dakota State got them 42-23. Colorado State opened a 4.5-point favorite against Vanderbilt. It's now up to 8. ETSU running back Quay Holmes. I love that name, Quay Holmes.
Quay Holmes.
23 carries, 149 yards. And then there's this.
Oh, you got
Ouch.
more?
Oh, you just grimaced.
grimace.
It's coming bad. It's something bad.
I just want to sneak this one out there. The only other time since the FBS and FCS split in 1978 that an FCS school held an SEC school without a touchdown. Only other time. It's only happened one other time.
In like over 40 years.
Yeah, since 1978. You weren't even born yet.
No.
Neither were you.
Right.
I was 5. Kirby said neither was I. You're going to have to check that.
Liar.
Yeah. Pants on fire.
All right, so it's only happened one other time that an FCS school held an SEC school without a touchdown. That was in 1992. Citadel beat Arkansas 10-3. Jack Crow was fired the next day.
Who was on that Arkansas team? Goodness.
I don't know, but the very next Saturday, I believe it was the very next Saturday, that Arkansas team who had just lost to an FCS school, the Citadel, walked into Neyland Stadium and beat Tennessee.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, see now.
It's the quietest I've ever heard Neyland Stadium in my life, and I've been to 100 years.
Yeah, my whole thing about that is, though, like, when we pouring on Vandy, like, let's leave it there. Like, let's.
No, I just poured on Tennessee.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
Exactly. Like, why? What did we do? We had
You didn't have to keep going.
Yeah, like,
is
we were
what
okay.
Slay is
Like,
pointing
all those
out.
stats were great.
I was at that game. I was sitting right behind the Arkansas bench. That's all you could hear was those guys yelling. They kicked a field goal at the end to win. It was crazy. That was the year that Philip Fulmer took over for Johnny Majors because Johnny Majors had the heart procedure. Yeah. And then Philip beat Georgia and Florida. And so Johnny Majors came back. And then I think they beat LSU and then lost to Arkansas, lost to South Carolina, maybe. I don't know. I kept.
After the Arkansas loss, there was just all.
Snowballed.
Yeah.
You just drank for the rest of the football season then?
The Arkansas loss, yeah.
That'll get ya.
There's always one game in the year.
Yeah.
That just
Can I say something real quick before we let Babs go? Let's go back to Vandy. Take it, Babs. Just go. Tell me your bird's eye view. Like, because this pouring on Tennessee, I want it to stop. We're 1-0. You're involved.
1-0. Hey, Vandy is not.
Babs, if the season ended today,
y'all will be happy to know.
If the season ended today, don't give me that crap. I hate that. That's the worst.
Y'all will be happy to know that I have some Vanderbilt fans that are really good friends of mine that were hitting me at halftime of that Tennessee game. And did I text back when Vandy had this problem?
It's shocking. Nope. None of them hit me up. I didn't even think about that.
Why didn't they hit you up? It was 14-6.
Mac, Drew, like, hey, guys, hey, listen, my number has not changed. Now, somebody might have snuck and did something to it, but I think it's still the same. Why didn't? Because they hit me up a lot last year.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah,
thanks, Babs.
Our broadcast crew was shocked by what happened on Saturday. We were surprised. And that is, obviously it's the start of the season, but talking to coaches, talking to players, getting a feel for programs, all of that, it shocked, right? Like, you knew coming in what this Vanderbilt roster is. And in a perfect example, and they're good players, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the starters, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are guys that I know because they've been third string for the last couple of years that are now stepping in as starters, right? So, and this is a defense that struggled last year. So you understand there's zero depth there, and there's a long way to go on that roster. Right. But what I will say, and what I took from this game, was the surprise that, and I used this word earlier when I was chatting with Buck, that Vandy was out-physicaled, and I know that's not a word, but ETSU came in more aggressive, more physical. They got more push at the line of scrimmage. And Vandy is small on their offensive and defensive lines compared to what you're used to in the SEC. I get it. But there's no reason that they should have been pushed around like they were in the trenches. And part of it, I felt, was just a lack of aggressiveness. Yeah. And that is what shocked me, because when you talk to people inside this program and even off the record stuff that I got, it was very much, hey, discipline's so much better here right now. Like there were times where it was tough to get through walkthroughs, because everybody's all over the place. Nobody's paying attention. There's no focus. Like the talk around Vanderbilt is that Clark Lee is deliberate. There's no wasting time there. Everything is, laid out. This is the focus. I mean, they have a mental performance coach. I talked about it in my open for that Vandy game that Ken Seal spends a ton of time with, all of that. So I was shocked that I felt like there was zero energy, there was zero leadership on that sideline. All of those 5 captains that got their jersey numbers first, that earned their jersey numbers first, not a word from any of them on that sideline. Wow. If I am Coach Lee, that's my challenge. Now, I will say this too. Coach Lee is very even keel.
Yeah.
He's not high, he's not low. Somebody on that team has to bring energy, and there was none of it on Saturday. And I think that's where the lack of aggressiveness and the lack of energy is what really surprised me.
I like what Clark Lee had to say after the game. He said, look, I didn't take this job. We didn't take this job, to play East Tennessee State. We took this job to build a foundation. And no fan wants to hear it's going to take time, but it's going to take time. I mean,
it's going to take time.
They were winless last year.
Yeah.
So
we mentioned the depth part, and then also the quarterback position. So, Clark Lee made the switch at the end of the first quarter. That was the plan was to play 2 quarterbacks going in, and the plan honestly is kind of all season long to go in that direction because Mike Wright brings such a different, style of game, and Clark Lee was very honest in the fact that he's like, we have to get creative to find ways to continue to run the football. And Mike Wright gives them an extra wrinkle as a quarterback to come in and get creative and be able to run the football, right?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't able to do that. But I will say this, there was at least a little bit of a spark when Mike Wright came in, a little bit of energy and you kind of felt like the passion and all of that coming in. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do at quarterback there. The other thing that stood out to me, and I think this should be bothersome for Vanderbilt fans, is their wide receivers got 0 separation all night long. It wasn't early. And they looked tired, honestly.
Against East Tennessee.
Against ETS. Yeah. So, and I think there's some inexperience. There's some talent there, but there's some inexperience. And you look at Cam Johnson, who is a phenomenal player, but he's not going to be extra dynamic. He's not going to go beat somebody and be wide open. But if you put it where he can get it, he's consistent. You can count on him. He's super athletic. all of those things. But he's not your dynamic wide receiver, and they don't have that.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't, and they have some big kids. I mean, 6'3", 6'4" receivers that you would think go up and get it, go up and win a 50-50 ball.
Right.
But then also their quarterbacks didn't really have a whole lot of time to make that. And the penalties, the self-inflicted mistakes, the holdings, the goodness. I mean, God bless Clark Lee, because on some of those penalties, I'd have lost it if that was my team and I was the head coach. Lost my mind.
Can you imagine Babs with that head on, coaching?
No.
It would have been slammed in. She would have ran through 2 or 3 of them. She's going to break them, throwing them down.
615-737-1045. Throughout the course of the show, we'll work in some things that stood out to us over the college football weekend. We'll get into Titans,
Can I say this
Arizona.
just to close it?
Yeah.
I think that Clark Lee will get it done there. I think it is just going to take time because this roster is depleted.
Right.
Brent is not sold. He's not sold. I'm sold. It's going to take time.
Listen, I very publicly pushed another guy for that job.
Yes, you did. Another guy who just got a real big win this past weekend.
First Power 5 win for Charlotte in their program's history. And then because of the way everything worked out, that game was on Friday. Game day was in Charlotte on Saturday. Will Healy was on live on game day and crushed it.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, give him a chance. No question. I'm not dogging the guy now and fire him now and all this stuff. I'm not doing that at all.
You certainly can't after one game with a roster that he has nothing to do with.
Can't lose East Tennessee State, man.
No, you can't. And I think the biggest thing for him, and I believe in Clark Lee, but I think the biggest thing for him now is with the season that they had last year, Now you take a loss like this. After building all of that morale and the discipline and everything in the offseason, how do you keep these guys from falling in a rut, man?
How do you get the passion?
Yeah, like.
Where's the passion?
And I mean, like, what do you build on? Like, it'll be different if it was 23-22. You know, we lost by 1. We did some good things. Let's take it from 23-3, a field goal. That's tough.
It wasn't a short field goal either.
No,
53-yarder.
53-yarder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is at home. Like, usually you can feed off of the fans and the support and everything.
That's a bad one.
This is a tough one, man.
It's a tough one.
This is a tough one. So,
because, I mean, that's the worst team on your schedule.
Yeah.
Colorado State and UConn, the other two.
Those are both some Shiano shows, too.
And Colorado State's favored. 615-737-1045. Let's go to Hunk. Let's go to Buddy in the Borough next up on 3HL. Hey, Buddy, what's up, man? Yo, Buddy.
Dropping him.
Nobody.
I'm the buddy.
Nobody knows.
I'm the buddy in the building.
The trouble I've
How
seen.
about that? Oh, buddy in the borough. I'm in the building.
I wonder if he could hear us.
Probably could.
If there was a button that
He'll call back. Buddy, call back.
Yeah, call back.
That's simple.
When we come back, Jim Wyatt will join us. We'll get into Titans, Arizona, and maybe the Titans survived that little COVID ordeal last week.
First Britches report was out, too.
Oh, I missed it, too. I'm going to have to look at Jay Wyatt Sports on Twitter. You can look just like I'm about to. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings, Nashville West, over on Charlotte Pike, 6816 Charlotte Pike. We love Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm telling you, the wings. You went Asian Zing again.
And orange.
Oh, you like them?
Yeah, and I double back with the orange flavor because I'm like a little Chinese food guy too. So I like the orange flavor chicken. That was the name of it.
You're just a wing guy.
That too.
We'll be right back. 3HL 1045 this zone. Just admiring all the promotional items our guys have sitting at the front of Buffalo Wild Wings here in Nashville
it's heavy
West.
up there. Heavy up there. You can get a whole little outfit up there. If you
Is
want to.
game day up there?
Yep. Game day is up there. You got a game day outfit up there. You can get a T-shirt, get a koozie.
Register to win Titans tickets?
Register to win Titans tickets. Hey, Babs. Oh.
I wasn't waving to you, but hey, Slay.
Okay. I missed you from the weekend. That's all.
I did. I missed you, boys. Welcome back.
You know, I got a
The NFL game week.
It is game week. I wonder how much of what we saw in college football, as far as penalties, will we see in NFL.
Jim Wyatt joins us from TennesseeTitans.com. Hey. Jimmy, what's up? We're going to see some sloppy play and a bunch of penalties in the first week, you think?
Please tell me no.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. I mean, I think everybody, wants to see clean football, and these guys, certainly have had a lot of practice leading up to, to these kickoffs. Not a lot of action in preseason games, and certainly the Titans have had some guys out. But I think the games will go, pretty well. These guys are pros. Certainly, you get into more of a rhythm, more you play, and the Titans have been without their offensive line a good chunk of camp. They've been without some of the receivers, but again, I think these guys are pros, and I'm not ready to give a built-in excuse for them going in. Anybody across the board in the league, because these guys are getting paid good money and they're expected to perform.
Jimmy, can we fill us in? I'm trying to keep college and pros and vaccinated or non-vaccinated, all these guidelines and regulations, and when testing happens. Obviously, the Titans, hoping to move past these COVID outbreaks. How does it work? When is testing? Just kind of fill us in on all of that and where the Titans sit right now as we're looking, week out.
Yeah, and knock on wood. I mean, hopefully, the hope is that the Titans are kind of at the end of this outbreak that they had here over the last couple of weeks, while some other teams maybe are starting to experience it more. And the Titans, like other teams across the league, will be testing once a week moving forward. And I think it'll be on different days for some guys, but and I know there's been a lot of talk about fears across the league that maybe players going back to college games. And I'm not talking about Titan specific. I'm just talking about across the league. I think there's been some fears that that maybe some players could test positive coming off of these weekends. And I've heard another theory that maybe this wouldn't be the week, it'd be the following week, just because that's when you would have players have more time to be test positive and then potentially affect other people around them. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but it is a week-to-week process now. It's going to take place early in the week each week, and you just got to keep your fingers crossed that teams can avoid having outbreaks. And I'm not talking about just the Titans, I'm talking about everybody. I just hate to see good players and teams deal with this. Nobody wants to see people deal with this, and I'm hoping teams and players can kind of get things under control.
Jim, do you feel that can you feel that energy shift from preseason to regular season with this beginning to be, and it's a short week for the fans, but regular week for the players? Do you feel that shift in energy as the regular season cranks up?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they were on the practice field yesterday. Didn't practice today, but be back out there tomorrow. And, things are a lot more serious now. I mean, the rosters are really thinned down. I mean, we were dealing with a 90-man roster not too long ago, and now we're down to 53 and guys in the practice squad. But you're seeing, the regulars, the starters out there. You're seeing a more serious tone. It's, as Mike Vrabel said yesterday, I mean, now's when you kind of start preparing to win, and you start putting game plans in, and kind of no excuses moving forward. I mean, and guys know that they have to get it right, and they hold each other accountable on the practice field. So, I mean, I feel the energy. I see it at practice. I see it on Twitter. I mean, I get the sense fans are excited. You see it on NFL Network as they're promoting games coming up. I mean, it's after a long wait, it's finally here, and I certainly sense the buzz in the city and across the country.
Jim Wyatt with us at J Wyatt Sports, TennesseeTitans.com. All right, the Titans restructure Julio Jones' contract. Give us a sense as to why that was done, and what does that do in terms of freeing up money?
Yeah, it does free up a good chunk, and they were always going to have to do it because you have a top 51 rule where you have a certain amount of players count against the salary cap from the start of the new league year up to the first week of the regular season, and then once the first week of the regular season starts, you start counting the top 53, and the Titans were in a position where they were going to have to do something, and so that was the move that. To restructure Julio's deal. I think it's, people see that and they think, okay, the Titans are on the verge of going out and getting somebody. They need the money for that. I think it's more, clearing up space, to, pay guys on injury reserve, maybe pay injury settlements, potentially have a little bit more wiggle room moving forward, and not done to go out and jump into a big deal with somebody else.
Jim Wyatt with us on 3HL. Darrynton Evans is our player today, live at Buffalo Wild Wings Nashville West. Where are we with regard to him? He's got to be frustrated coming off last season and now dealing with more injury.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. He's out at least the first 3 weeks of the season because he's on the reserve injured list. I mean, it's a good thing the league has some flexibility now, and you can put players on that list, and you can call them back when they're ready instead of being restricted to how many guys could be on there and having to wait a long time before they can come back. This was supposed to be a year when Darrynton Evans made a big impact and had a big role from the get-go. But unfortunately for him, as was the case last year, he just had trouble staying healthy. Now he's in recovery mode process where guys like Jeremy McNichols, Micah Sargent are now in the mix behind Derrick Henry, and Darrynton Evans just needs to get himself healthy where he can play. And an unfortunate part of that is, all the work that he did in the OTAs and mini camp and the first part of training camp to kind of get himself in good conditioning and kind of get in the football field. Now, when he does come back, he's kind of be starting over again. So, it's got to be frustrating for him. I'm sure it's frustrating for the coaching staff, everybody that had big plans for him, but that's kind of where he is. And train's got to keep on rolling, and other guys are going to step in and do it.
Jim, let's take a look at the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, Kyler Murray presents some challenges at quarterback. And then we don't even have to mention to Titans fans the impact DeAndre Hopkins tends to have against the Titans. What are the Titans looking at with regard to this offense?
Well, I mean, it starts with the quarterback and just how tough he is to deal with. Because not only does he have a strong arm, but he's got legs and he can take off and run. I know Rashaan Evans said yesterday he reminds him a little bit of Lamar Jackson. And he's throwing to receivers who can go up and get the ball. Hopkins in particular, a guy that we've seen have big days against the Titans in the past. So. There was a lot of talk, on the other side. There's a lot of excitement from Titans fans because you wonder how the Cardinals are going to defend Julio Jones and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, and you can't cover them all. Well, look at the Cardinals, and you've got some similar issues that you got to deal with there. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they've got some really good players, that can get after the quarterback. So it's a talented team coming in here. For sure, and I think Murray is one of these quarterbacks who's really, developing at a fast rate and can drive you crazy if you don't do a good enough job defending him.
I assume Julio Jones is ready to go this weekend. A.J. Brown, of course, at wide receiver, going up against Byron Murphy and Robert Alford. What do you think about those matchups, the Titans receivers against that secondary and of course, Budda Baker at safety?
Well, it's exciting to think about because this is the best Titans receiving core to start a season for sure since I've covered the team. And I think, when you've got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, you've got matchup problems right out of the gate. And that's going to allow some other guys to do things as well. So, I think, it's going to be a lot of Sundays when you're doing matchups, Titans and DB, receivers against the other team's DBs, and the edge is going to go to the Titans. As long as these guys can stay healthy, watching Julio in practice yesterday, he looked good. Looks to be in great shape. He doesn't seem to have any lingering issues. That's what kept him out for an extended time in camp. And AJ the same way. And these guys are excited and ready to kind of show what they can do together.
This obviously a lot of talk in the off season, and this the defensive struggles have been addressed, for whatever you can take from the preseason, looks better. But at this point in practice, what are you seeing from Danico, Autry, Big Jeff, and with the challenge that they are about to face as well this week?
Well, I mean, I think that the defense is going to be better. I mean, I think a lot of these guys, that we haven't seen a lot of, in the preseason, I think they're all going to be ready to go. I mean, and that includes Dupree, that includes Autry. I think it's a good combination of veterans and hungry young guys who obviously it's going to take some time for those guys to come together. But I think it's going to be a much improved defense. I thought it was interesting right before I came on. I was on Twitter and I looked at, I guess someone tweeted out that the Titans are projected to have the worst defense in the NFL by, I guess, Football Outsiders, which I saw that, and that seems like a 2020 stat because they did have.
It's
the worst
completely different roster.
Year. Yeah, but it's a completely different team. So I was surprised to see it, and a guy that works for the Cardinals retweeted it, and I thought, this is interesting. They're kind of getting their fan base psyched up, like they're coming in here to take on some cupcakes, and it's a chance to rack up some stats. So I think it's going to be a much better defense. I'm anxious to see him because we haven't seen this defense in the preseason, and so it's hard to know exactly what to expect. But I think they're going to get after the quarterback more. I think they're going to make more plays on the ball in the secondary, and I think it's going to be much improved.
Good stuff, Jim. Appreciate you, man. Game week. Let's go.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys not asking about that pathetic display.
I was just going to say, I'm sorry about your doors.
Very disgusted about that. I've sat there when you walk out of that stadium trying to count the worst losses in history since you've been over there, and I've been going over there for a long time. I don't know if this is the worst, but it was embarrassing, and I'm still disgusted about it a couple of days later.
Yeah, we were going to offer some grace and freedom there.
Hang in there, Jim.
I wasn't. I just got booted. Yeah, hang in
I
there, Jim.
I did see the highlight of the night was seeing Dawn come up at halftime and hold her little girl in her hands. About maybe Hadley's bad luck for the Commodores. But, maybe not.
Maybe she is. She's banned.
Don't put that on that child, Jim. Hey, see you, buddy.
Okay, y'all.
All right,
y'all.
at Jay Wyatt Sports says he Titans.com. When we come back, more Titans Arizona coverage with Mike Keith, the voice of the Titans, joins us next. Thanks to Farm Bureau Health Plans. Again, Buffalo Wild Wings. Come by and see us. There's tons of, Slay's right, T-shirts, cups, register to win Titans tickets, all kinds of things going on here at Buffalo Wild Wings on Charlotte Nashville West. We'll be right back. Hey, John, 104.5 The Zone. Happy Tuesday. We are out and about broadcasting live for our Tuesday football feast at Buffalo Wild Wings. Stop by. We will be here until 6 o'clock. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay.
I'm in the building.
You're in the building with a bunch of wings.
With a lot of wings. And with some chocolate fudge cake, too.
You said you wanted some dessert.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just get wings for dessert?
No. I'm a chocolate fudge cake. I need these jaws to be a little fatter. That's what I'm looking in. That's what I'm out here to do.
Meanwhile, I just got cauliflower wings.
Yeah.
What?
I'll let you
You
know
know
how
what?
it is.
Don't disrespect wings.
No, Slay's like all in on them.
I'm with him. I'm getting me something to go.
Who are you?
Nah, them good though, man.
He's getting cauliflower wings to go with his chocolate fudge cake.
That's right. I got to
Hey, if Buffalo Wild Wings going to do them, they're going to be good. But y'all can have them.
Yeah. Now you got to try one, dude. I'm telling you, it's good. And you can get any kind of flavor on them.
My body be like, what are you doing to me? What did I do to you? Why are you putting this in here?
Why are you putting this in here?
I'm just kidding. So, yeah, at 5 o'clock, Titans running back Darrynton Evans will be here. So come by, get a picture, get an autograph. We've got all kinds of Titans things, Tighten Up T-shirts, register to win for Titans tickets, all kinds of things going on. Titans and Cardinals, it's finally game week, so let's get the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, into the mix now. Mike, what's up? How are you?
He's in there.
Vot. What's up, Vot?
Can't hear him.
I'm calling him.
Okay, he was doing the Zoom call, which would put him on Zone TV.
Man.
But now Joe
And everybody wants to see Mike Keith.
Is making an executive decision to call the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith.
I like how you play that.
Technology just gets you sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It does. Titans Cardinals coming up this weekend. And we won't talk about this part of it, but for you guys, Titans a 3-point favorite in this game. Tony the Stud in attendance.
He's in the building.
So, we'll see what's going on. I can't wait to see what happens with the offensive line, Titans offensive line,
He's ready on the phone.
against the Cardinals defenders.
Oh.
And
All right, ask the pro.
yeah, I mean, should I start there, Mike? Should I just start with the Titans offensive line going up against J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones and Isaiah Simmons and all those guys? Should I start there?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. And, not quite knowing the status of Ben Jones or Nate Davis yet kind of has everybody on edge, unless you've heard something I haven't, unless something's just come out in the last 20 minutes about the two of them.
No.
Nope.
I think that's where it's going to start. You got to block J.J. Watt. And historically, the great news for us is DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt have had the best games of their careers against the Tennessee Titans. So, yay. I didn't mean that.
Yeah,
really.
I was like, wait a minute, Mike.
Facetious.
That was a great reaction.
So, the other thing, too, is we're catching J.J. Watt coming out of training camp, and that means you're going to get healthy, fresh J.J. Watt. You're not going to see the guy that may be playing in November and December. So the offensive line is going to have to be good. There's just no two ways about it. They're going to have to figure out a way to be good, particularly when J.J. Watt is paired with a guy like Chandler Jones, who is a dominant pass rusher when healthy.
A.J. Green is 33 years old. I started to say he's 157 years old, but then that would take me down a path where we might start reciting a movie. But what do you anticipate seeing from A.J. Green in year, 12? Is that where we are with him?
11. I still think, for him, he's got gas in the tank, and he's going to be revitalized by the fact that he's with DeAndre Hopkins. He's with Christian Kirk. I think you're going to see Rondell Moore, too, a player out of Purdue that I liked. I know some Vanderbilt fans still have nightmares about him.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is a lot of speed. And the other thing, too, about them, and when you think about their offense, Chase Edmonds is a good pass catcher out of the backfield, and James Conner's a good receiver to be a bigger back. Yeah. And so all of these things, I think, fit together to take pressure off A.J. Green. When you went to play Cincinnati, who were you stopping? A.J. Green. That's what you were talking about. Well, now you're talking about him fourth in the conversation, third in the conversation. And at this point in his career, I think that's a great thing for him, particularly having a chance to play with this quarterback. So he's a scary guy.
Mike, let me ask you this. You got a lot of different weapons now on the Titans side of the ball. You're not going to fool anybody in the NFL. You know, everybody's going to be prepared. Do you expect the Titans to come out and go to the bread and butter right away, you know, to negate this pass rush?
Well, I think the Cardinals are going to come out to stop Derrick Henry. I think they're going to basically play Buda Baker in positions to stop him. I think they're going to see what the Titans' pass game can look like. I think they're going to the looks they're going to get. This is my guess, but I think the looks that Vance Joseph is going to give are going to be more toward 8-man front and try to make the Titans throw them out of it. And Ron, that's what I would do in week one, you know, because you got AJ and you've got Julio and you've got Josh Reynolds, and they haven't been together a whole lot. You've got some offensive line things that
right.
You're still figuring out who the right tackle is. You know, they've got to figure. Vance Joseph has to figure that if you're Todd Downing, your easiest way at it is to run Derrick Henry downhill as much as possible. I think if the Titans are going to want to do that, I think you do run him some because that's who you are, but I think you're going to have to throw effectively to back them off, particularly with Buda Baker.
Right.
Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, with us on 3HL, normally on Monday, but yesterday was Labor Day, so here we sit. Real quick, at tight end, can Ferkser give them enough in the run block game to kind of not lead us down a predictable path offensively?
I think so. I think Ferkser can, and a combination of things formationally that they're going to be able to do. I mean, getting Swain back, I mean, he is the primary blocker.
Yeah.
That's really what he's asked to do. If Pruitt is activated from the practice squad, that's what he does. Tommy Hudson is a good blocker. The Titans like to run two tight ends. Under Arthur Smith, they were in two tight ends about a third of the time. I think the other thing that you have, too, is you have Blasingame that you can use in different ways with Ferkser in the game so that you don't have to say, okay, Anthony Ferkser, you are a total in-line tight end. There are things that they can do to help him and to open some things up where he's still able to do Anthony Ferkser things, and yet he can still help in the blocking package. I think you got to be creative. Because, I mean, let's face it. He's a tight end. He's not a receiver. You know, he's not one of those wide receivers playing tight end. But the devastating blocking aspect of what he does is not how he came up in the game. He made his bones catching passes. So you still want him to catch passes. You don't want him to ask him to do things he's not. But do I think he's a better blocker than he was 2 years ago? Absolutely, I do.
Looking forward to this matchup. We'll be listening on Sunday. Mike Keith with the Call Titans Radio with all of the action. Titans and Cardinals season opener. It's here, man.
It's here. Yeah, it's exciting. Back to the practice field tomorrow, and Titans tomorrow night with Keith Bullock at 6 o'clock. Our first show with Keith and Andy Wells here on 104.5 The Zone.
I love it. Thank you, Mike. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, Mike Keith at I don't know what on Twitter. He says he's there. Just lurking.
The rover. He's the Twitter rover.
Yeah.
Roving around the yard.
Speaking of roving, I don't. Buck Rogers is coming up next.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what he's got in the tank at 4:20.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday.
See what he's rovering.
Buffalo Wild Wings, that's where we are. Come by and see us. Darrington Evans will be here at 5 o'clock, Titans running back. And we'll talk with him. He'll be here from 5 until 6 o'clock. So he'll be taking pictures, signing autographs, kissing babies, and maybe kissing Slay on the top of the head. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know where that came from. Let's go to break. 3-104.5. Buffalo Wild Wings. We'd love to see you here.
I was gonna clean my room until I got high.
Lots of Titans gear for you to pick up while it lasts.
But then I got high.
Also, your chance to win Titans tickets. Get your name in the box. Here's the other thing. We're going to be all over
Put
Middle
your name
Tennessee.
in the box.
Open the box, cut a hole in the box.
Hey.
Then you put your name in the box because that's the way we do it. We will be doing these shows all over Middle Tennessee, so represent your area. Like if you're near us in the Nashville West area, like over there at Hillwood, for example, come by and see us and represent. Because I don't know who's going to bring the most people to one of these shows. Hendersonville.
That's a great question.
Nashville West.
I'm a challenge them.
Cool
I'm with you on
Springs.
that though. Yeah, because I grew up in this area, right down the street, Haynes Garden Apartments, man. No, is that Haynes Garden? No, Rolling Hills. It was Rolling Hills, right behind the skate center, Charlotte Skating Center, right there. This is my area. Used to walk down this hill to go down there to Walmart.
Rolling Hill sounds like a senior citizen home.
It probably was. It was a young citizen in there at the time, though. That was me.
So represent, right? Like at the end of the year, we're gonna see who represented their area the most.
Yeah, West Nashville. We're in West Nashville right now. Come out here and show some love. We'll be out east. We'll be out in Hendersonville, way out there. Hey, man, show some love. We're gonna see if Ramon can pull some people out for Hendersonville.
That song was played because it's 420. Also, ironically enough, Buck Rising joins us now on 3HL. Buck, what's up, man? How are you?
All right.
Are you guys high? I just listened to you talk about opening boxes for the better part of 4 minutes while I sit on hold. Is everybody okay over there?
Would you rather talk about that or Indiana football?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
How do you spell it?
Well, it's not Indiana football. It's like Indiana football based on the lettering on the jersey. It was not great, Dawn. We can't all win by 50 points like your team did this weekend.
Yeah, I know. It was dominating. War Eagle.
Or 32.
Oh, that's whoa.
Hey, yeah.
Tennessee
man
is talking smack.
Hey, that's right, Buck. What's up? What do you want to do?
Oh, man.
I want your quarterback to not stand flat-footed while he throws the football. Then we can talk about that.
I felt like he was working on his calf raises. See, what you didn't see when they cut away from him, he was going up on his toes after throwing the ball. So working on his calf raises to get ready for Pitt. Mm-hmm.
Buck,
thank God, because he's going to need those legs to make this offense go with the ground game. Because it ain't going to be through the air, big boy.
Buck, would you move Jackrabbit with DeAndre Hopkins or just line up on defense as it is?
You know, I think that there's going to be. Can I say both? They're going to dictate the coverage based on where DeAndre Hopkins lines up on the field. Like, I don't think it's just going to be Jackrabbit whose sole responsibility is to play what they call cat coverage, right? You've got this cat, I've got that cat.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how they take that approach to a player like this where you know he's going to get his numbers, but the best that you can do is try and, maneuver your secondary, play disguise as they are typically want to do with the Titans defense, and try to confuse the quarterback whose obligation is to get DeAndre Hopkins the ball. But, the problem then becomes these off-schedule plays that Kyler Murray and Hopkins are famous for now as a combination in Arizona. It's going to be a really, really difficult assignment, as it is every time they play DeAndre Hopkins. This is somebody just like J.J. Watt that they're intimately familiar with after so many years in the division. So I think you're going to see multiple looks, and I think you're going to see basically all hands on deck for that particular player.
Buck, Jordan Phillips went on, he was injured, going to miss this game. Do the Titans take advantage of that depth that I believe Arizona will lack with this monster being out of the game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the offense starts with the run, right? So regardless of who's in there and who's not, I don't think they're going to try and do anything that utterly shocks us. I don't think that ultimately changes the game plan that much. I think it just helps them up front with anything. Now, the biggest thing is going to be, how much Watt is able to do. I think without Jordan Phillips, you'll be able to double-team him because, again, J.J. Watt was the most double-teamed defensive lineman in football in 2020, so he still commands that kind of attention. It's just, are you prepared for when he does freelance in a defense, as he's known to do, to basically adapt for his playmaking ability. You know, Mike Vrabel wouldn't call it freelancing. In fact, he went the last time I did talk about Jadeveon Clowney and freelancing, but maybe that was wincing for a different reason, having to do with Clowney. I think that they understand the kind of player that they're up against, and that, you know, the best play in their playbook is still run left.
Mm-hmm. How much of a liability is Cliff Kingsbury for where they are, where they want to go?
I honestly think, like, I don't know. We're going to learn a lot more about Kyler Murray's limitations, or what may be limiting him as a player the more time that he spends in the league, right? When more teams have film on him. And there's enough film on Kyler now to understand what he is and what he isn't. But I honest to God think that Cliff Kingsbury is not one of these, like, new age Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur coaches that he's kind of billed as just because he's the same age and they all look like an Instagram model, except, you know, a little more in the case of Cliff Kingsbury. I really think that there are so many egregious coaching mistakes that he made over the course of last season that if you're talking about, like, winning in the margins, and that's going to be what a week one game is, because I do think the Titans are a superior team, but the Cardinals really disrupted a lot of superior teams in the early part of the season before everybody started to figure them out a little more. I do think that when you're talking about winning in the margins, Mike Vrabel is a plus on the sideline, and Cliff Kingsbury is decidedly a minus.
How worried are we with COVID and outbreaks and what? Yeah. I mean, for the season, really, not just this week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sure you guys saw Tom Brady's comments about that he's expecting this to be more difficult than last season, with the idea that things are going to be semi-normalized and guys are allowed to attend games on their off week at their alma mater and things like that. And you're kind of going about life as normal, like we saw in the stands of college football. And in reality, while it does make you feel great, I mean, it's really not normal. You see what the positivity rate in the state of Tennessee is doing right now, and that's basically the case across the entire South. You saw that the Titans just put Brady Breeze on the COVID reserve list after, as Tom Pelissero is reporting, a positive test. So it's not like they're done testing positive, maybe from that Tampa cluster that they seem to be kind of digging their way out of. But again, you're going to have to go through this situation with another player, and however he did contract the disease, or is reported to have contracted the disease, your close contacts are going to start, and then more guys are going to have to miss time. It's going to be a problem. I mean, I don't anticipate this being any different than it was a year ago. It's just, hopefully, now that we have vaccinations, and the vaccinations are through the roof in terms of the NFL, because you start talking about affecting these guys' paychecks, they take you a little more seriously. Hopefully it mitigates the long-term issues that would be possible pre-vaccine.
You know, I was thinking about what you said about the rosters, because I totally agree with you. Buck Rising with us on 3HL. You can catch him weekdays from 10 until 1 on 104.5 The Zone and the A to Z sports platforms as well. But I was thinking about what you said about the roster. I completely agree with you. I think the Titans are decidedly better roster-wise, player for player in the 53. And I'm curious about that point spread only being 3. And so then I started to wonder, how much of the unknown is it about the Titans in that Julio Jones wasn't available, Ryan Tannehill not working with him.
Just got back.
Everybody's convinced that the defense, though they changed pieces, is going to be awful again. Like, are these some of the things that lead us to a 3-point spread? Because I agree with you. I think in terms of roster and head coach, Titans have a decided advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you know, somebody like Todd Furman could probably give you a more informed answer on that, just because I'm not as intimately familiar with how they set the lines. But look, Dawn and I talked about this earlier, right? Like, Vanderbilt should not have been a 20-point plus favorite over anybody, but they were heading into this game with ETSU. Now, we all know that Vanderbilt is inferior, but Vegas set the line probably much higher than they should have in favor of Vandy, because they believe them to be a competent SEC team, which they are not. Preseason lines mean a little bit less to me just because there are so many unknowns. But, yeah, I mean, there has to be those kind of things taken into account, because they are not nobody outside of Nashville, and even us here in Nashville, with the way that things change, literally by the hour, you can be certain about nothing right now, other than as we sit here today, just a little bit after 4:20, as you so politely noted, on Tuesday, that there will be a game played Sunday between the Cardinals and the Titans. Outside of that, I think a lot of stuff is up for grabs. So these beginning of season lines, I just kind of look at a little side-eyed, even though you probably would say, I think most people objectively would say, that the Titans are a better team and should be getting more points at home.
I think you should go, as we move forward, I think you should come on the show at 4:20. I think that's a far more appropriate time slot for you.
Hey, listen, it's your show, buddy. I'm around.
Oh, is that easy? We can just get Buck like that? That's what I'm talking about. That's teammates right there.
Well, no, it's not that easy because there's things associated with my schedule, Slay, but I've just given you permission to call me at 4:20, and now we can move forward that way.
Hey, real quick, Buck.
That's got to give us some more sponsorship dollars. We love Buddy a la Carpet 1, but we might be able to add some stuff.
Put some of us on it. Buck, you got the preseason out the way, man. Now the true test comes for Bowen. Now we get to really see what he gets to go out here and do. What do you expect? Now that it's kind of been a bar set, but, those guys, a lot of those guys aren't on the team anymore. You now have your core guys that you get to go out there and prepare with. What do you expect from a guy like Bowen now?
I expect more cohesion. I know that's such a low bar to set, but, that's the biggest thing that they lacked last year. You had dudes lining up out of position. You had dudes right before the snap not necessarily understanding what the play call was or what each other's responsibilities were. And, again, we've talked about this ad nauseum. There's a great many factors that went into why it looked as bad as it did a year ago. I think it was about the worst possible case scenario, and they should be held to account for that. They're going to. This is Shane Bowen's real debut, as far as I'm concerned, as the defensive coordinator and play caller for this particular team. And it's not easy for him out the gate, but there's going to be a lot of these moments playing a first place schedule, and a lot of offenses are going to be licking their chops when they see you because they remember how atrocious you were at your job collectively a year ago. So, I've got Bud Dupree on the show tomorrow at 11:15, and I'm going to talk to him more in detail about this, but basically, base level competency is something that they lacked a year ago.
Right.
I think that should be, at very minimum, the expectation for them, given all the time that they've had to correct their ills.
Good stuff, Buck. I appreciate the ability for you to kind of shift your schedule around and join us at 4:20 on Tuesday. Appreciate it.
Well, listen, ability is something that I have in spades. It's just, how relaxed I am during my abilities is a matter of some discussion and may vary from time to time. Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
I didn't notice that he was any more relaxed necessarily. Did you guys?
Not today.
Not today. Yeah, I'm with Babs on that. Yeah. NIL hasn't kicked in.
How's that chocolate cake doing?
Pretty good. I'm interested to pick up where Buck left off about.
Is she about to throw a cauliflower ring at you?
I will catch it. That's for sure. Put his flag on the plate.
There's a flag on the table. Unnecessary roughness. Don Davenport threatening people with
flag on the
cauliflower wings,
which are very good, by the way.
I knew it.
Very good.
I knew it.
Yep.
And you could put. See, this what he don't realize. You can put any kind of sauce you want on it.
Yeah, they're very good.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're a sauce guy. You'd eat anything in sauce. You'd eat a tire in sauce.
Yeah, if I could chew it.
It's probably
if
I could chew it.
All right.
What do you want to pick up on Buck on the other side?
With him interviewing Bud tomorrow. I think this will be the first interview that he's had when he's really ready to go.
And you haven't heard a lot about him or from him or videos,
Exactly.
None of that.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying, our defensive conversation about this Titans defense, who knows?
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to be better, Babs.
Can't
be worse.
Yes, they can be worse.
Can't be
Don't
worse.
say that. Don't get me started.
You got two flags in this segment. All right, when we come back, we'll go down the Vegas path with Alan Bell. He got some winners for you, I would think. Will Bowling was telling me, Alan Bell, man,
killed it,
getting it done on his podcast. Just listen to him.
Oh, he killed it on the bet?
Making him money, he said. Look at Will Bowling making money off Alan Bell. Alan Bell get a percentage of that?
Todd Furman gets a percentage of mine.
At Alan Bell 247. We'll have them both on the same time one week.
Oh,
and just
yeah.
go game by
hold
game.
The feet to the 5.
Yeah. All right, winners next. Buffalo Wild Wings, Nashville West. Darrington Evans, Titans running back, will be here at 5 o'clock. Be here. 615-737-1045. 4-5 the zone. Buffalo Wild Wings on Charlotte Pike. Darrynton Evans, Titans running back, will be here from 5 until 6 o'clock. You got to represent West Nashville. Come on. This is a traveling road show. Every Tuesday we'll be at a different Buffalo Wild Wings around the Middle Tennessee area. So
show don't stop.
West Nashville doesn't want to get showed out by where are we next week?
Let me see.
Hermitage. I mean,
they're going to come out in Hermitage.
They're going to come out in Hermitage. So get on out here, Nashville West.
I did have a couple of people text me and tweet me saying that, man, I didn't know y'all was coming. I'm at work. Y'all got to do it again. So we will be back to the same location.
See, you know what?
Put it on the schedule every Tuesday.
It's later in the schedule, though.
Yep. Excuses.
Tools of incompetence.
Wow.
Like it? Yeah.
Alan Bell joins us now, speaking of, at Alan Bell 247, sportsline.com, the website. Go check that out. Tons of information, sports betting information. Alan, I got to tell you, AB, on the front end of this, Will Bowling is singing your praises here, saying you're making him a lot of money.
Here we go. I like it. You know what? That's the whole plan, man. That's all we want to do. Will's my guy anyway. Good for him.
Here's my weekend. Number one, the backdoor cover from Florida State with the greatest story of the weekend, Mackenzie Milton getting back out there and getting that game to overtime. I love that. And then Ron and Don kept having to field my phone calls because I kept talking myself into more Ole Miss bets. I ended up with 3 of them, which paid off.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Ole Miss's offense, they're incredible. And side note, how did Lane Kiffin not do the Hugh Freeze move from the hospital chair up at the top of the stadium? Like, that seems like a perfect troll move he would have done.
That would have been nice. That would have been nice.
Can't do that though. He has COVID.
That would have been dope though.
Quarantine.
Lane, he does whatever he wants.
They could have put him in a bubble. It would have been like Kiffin in a bubble.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. He'd have been the bubble boy.
It would.
Hey, so here's my generalized takeaway. Alabama is the best team in the country, and it's not close. I think Georgia's number 2. But the gap between Alabama and the rest of college football, just based on week 1, is unbelievable.
It's incredible. I mean, and the amazing thing is this, is that not only do they seem to get better each year, look how much they replace. They have a brand new quarterback, a brand new offense. Bill O'Brien is calling plays out there now. It's incredible, man. Alabama just continues to roll, and no pun intended there. They just do whatever they want. And I'll give you a stat. Right? I went back to 2016 to these week 1 games, these marquee games of Alabama, okay? Since 2016, their average margin of victory is by 31.6 points, okay?
Average?
So then you look at, okay. Yeah, 31.6. And then you think to yourself, you say, all right, in week 2, there has to be a come down, right? Nope. They win week 2 games by an average of 37.8 points. And it's not like they always play scrubs. Texas A&M was in there at one point. So, I mean, Alabama gets even better from week 1 to week 2. It's insane.
Well, that's a tough break for Mercer then.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
I mean, name your score. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the matchup predictor, 99.9% chance for Alabama to win.
Hey, just go ahead and give them that 100%. Other than World War III breaking out, I don't know how Mercer's going to win that game. And I'm probably going to take Nick Saban in World War III. So there you go.
Have you already started to look at games this week, AB? We've got an NFL game coming up the day after tomorrow.
Yep, I have. So I'll say this. The Buccaneers, that's a good bet all the way up to about 8.5 points. After that, it gets a little crazy. But if you look, the history of teams in the kickoff game, they're 12-4. And I think 11-5-1 or something. So 11-4-1 there in covering the spread. They win those games. But I'll say this. Be careful with totals this week. The books are pretty sharp on it. Spreads are going to be your favorite. Look at Monday night with the Ravens at the Raiders. All right, the Ravens are 4.5-point favorites on the road. And I get it. There's some notes there about, home underdogs in prime time. The Ravens are incredibly better on offense. They're incredibly better on defense. They possibly got the best kicker in the league. And you want to hear a crazy stat? Think about this. The Ravens have outscored their opponents 144-19 over the last 3 seasons in week 1. And they won all 3 of them by 30+ points. They do not mess around in the preseason and in week 1. So, yeah, take a look there. Don't overthink that one. The Ravens are going to crush the Ravens.
That Tennessee-Pittsburgh game, do you just stay away from that thing, not knowing what – like, I did a deep dive into their quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and I can't – like, the range of play with that dude is I don't know what to do with that one, man.
Well, I'll tell you this. I put it in at Sportsline today on that game, and I feel pretty good about it. Take the under 56, okay? Because Josh Heupel and Joe Milton have done a lot to work out. Willie Green was horrible. Tennessee legitimately had the best field position they'll ever have all season, and it still didn't look that great, right? And Pittsburgh's a much, much better defense. That said, I don't really believe all that much in kickoff, and so they're out into a pretty loud atmosphere. And Tennessee defense looked better than I thought it would. Is this game honoring Johnny Majors? I think it's also going to be a game honoring the 70s to where it's legit 20-17. You're playing, first downs and field position. I'm with you. I have no idea what to do with the spread, but the under 56, I'm all over that one.
Is there another one just early in the week that you love this weekend?
Well, there's a couple here, right? So, if you take a look, I think, as weird as it sounds, I think Ohio State minus 13 at home against Oregon. Oregon's a pretty good team. I'm going to go crazy on that one. I think Ohio State is going to blast them. Another one that I kind of like here is the Bears at the Rams on Sunday. If you think about it, just play that game out in your head. How do you think that this game is going to go? All right, the Rams try to win 24-10. They run the ball the entire game. They haven't played any starters in the preseason whatsoever. And what do you think Andy Dalton is going to do against that Rams defense, right? So if we got an under 46, the Rams could win 30-13, and we still cover. And I don't even know if it gets that high. So I think that the under 46 is a great play in that game. And also, the last one I have, I'm going to say it. The Cardinals at Titans, everyone's betting the over, and I understand why. I'm going to go with the under in this game because I think that we haven't seen any of the Titans' offensive players in the preseason. You've got a brand-new offensive coordinator. You look at Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. They were 7-0-1 to the under on the road last year. And you're going to have 2 teams trying to run the ball. I think this clock goes fast. I think they had an exceptional game. But, yeah, while the Cardinals bets it up all week, are going to get it to 52, 53, 54. Wait to get the highest number and bet that under. I bet it's one of the fastest-going games that we have this week.
Love it, man. Thank you, AB. Sportsline.com is the website. People can go get all of the detailed information there at Alan Bell 24/7. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Thanks so much, Adam.
All right, so be careful with totals. Loves the Ravens. Ohio State minus 13.5 against Oregon at home. Cards at Titans under. Bears Rams under 46. Did I miss anything?
War of attrition kicked in for Ohio State in their last game.
Quarterback got going in the second half.
Yeah, and they just can't. To me, they can't stop people when they need to. So I don't really like that.
All right, Buffalo Wild Wings. We're at Nashville West on Charlotte. Come get some wings. Come drink some beer. Maybe eat a piece of chocolate cake. I don't know.
I don't. Not for mine. Mine gone. Come order you some chocolate
You didn't
cake.
share?
No.
Got some cauliflower wings for you.
Also, we got Titans t-shirts. Your chance to win Titans tickets. And Titans running back Darrynton Evans is here. So
he's in the building.
He's in the building. Yeah, and so we'll talk with Darrynton when we come back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Listen to
Mark Spain in 10.
Live on Alexa. We're not going to be one of those lame radio stations
edition, which means it is Tuesday football feast time at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we did kind of feast out. I went honey barbecue and like a chipotle dry rub. You went Asian zing and
orange flavor.
Orange.
Yeah. Orange
Where they take the zing out of the Asian.
They took the zing out of it, yep.
Yeah, and then Babs goes cauliflower wings with loaded tots.
Balance each other there.
And the cauliflower. and don't leave that chocolate cake out, though. You left that chocolate cake with the ice cream.
And Slay ate about 12 pounds of a chocolate cake.
Every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Was it as good as the Fat Boy ice cream you had the other day?
Dang. I thought you were trying to eat healthy.
He put me on the spot. No, the ice cream sandwich was killing that. I'm going to be real. The ice cream sandwich, man, that mother was barbecue
put you on the
in
spot.
We're
going to be on the spot every Tuesday with Buffalo Wild Wings. We really appreciate these guys, and the wings are amazing. You need to get here. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. For more information about where we're going to be, 1045thezone.com/TFF. So today, Nashville West. Next week we'll be in Hermitage. Next Tuesday we'll be in Hermitage. Jayon Brown will be the player guest. Today, Darrynton Evans, Titans running back. What's up, man?
How you doing? I'm good. How you doing?
And let it be known for the record, if you're watching on Zone TV, which they've got on the big screens up here, or if you're listening on the radio, Darrynton is at a completely safe distance away from us.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. He's like 15 feet away.
I've never been closer to Dawn during a broadcast than I am right now, but
Which is also awkward.
I'm a good 10 feet from Darrynton, so Vrabel, get off me, man.
Man, these NFL protocols are crazy.
They are. I mean, seriously, how difficult is that to deal with?
I mean, it's like everything you do, you got to think before you do it. Can I do this? Or, no, I probably shouldn't do this. Or if you want to do something, you're like, all right, let me ask first just in case because, I mean, it ain't no hiding from it. There's no hiding from it.
Yeah.
Because even when we talk about, like, doing player shows and everything, we're all at the same table. You get more of an intimate conversation going. But I would imagine, like, there were a lot of things that had to get worked through to even do something like this.
Yeah, it definitely started with the vaccination coming out. You know, without that, there probably would be none of this, at least this season, again, at least. But with that coming out, that at least helped everyone be able to maneuver a little bit better.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
On the IR, for those that don't know, and that's at least 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
It has to be a frustrating thing, man.
Yeah, mentally, just trying to stay up. You know, last year, rookie year, dealing with similar things, just trying not to get down, just look at the positive side of it. You know, it's earlier in the year. And just when I get back to playing and stuff, just do what I do.
What's the most challenging part of dealing with what you dealt with last year, injury-wise, and then now starting the season here? For you personally, what's been the hardest part?
I would say just, thinking about all the time you spent in the off-season, working to get here, and then, be ready for the season that's coming up, and then it's like right before the season starts, boom, something else happens.
Yeah.
So it's like you feel like, man, I just did all that work just for this to happen, and then you got to wait 3 weeks just to go back out and show everybody what you can do. But, that's out of my control, so I try not to stress on it too much.
What is rehab like during COVID?
Yeah.
How different is it? Is it different hours so you're not around people? Like, what's kind of the protocol for rehabbing during COVID now?
I mean, for me, I don't know anything other than what it was last year and this year. So for me, it's the norm. Just coming in, early, getting work done, and then, essentially just going day to day, doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
How much were you itching after Arthur Smith left, Todd Downing coming in and, him being here last year, but you also knowing that you get a new opportunity to get out there in the offense and show a whole lot of stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
And then you get that setback. But how anxious are you to get out there and just in packages and show what you can do?
I mean, if you look at that first preseason game versus Atlanta, that first drive, I feel like my first run, I was fired up.
Yeah.
So
You was.
I was ready, man. Like, I was talking about that all week with my family. All right, we finally get a time to come out here, show everybody what we can do. So, I feel like that fire's still in there. It's just getting put on hold right now.
Yeah. And then you got the fans back. Fans back into the game. How much does that feed into your game? Like you said, come out fired up.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to put my arm back. So I got that wingspan. I might be
yeah, you do.
but you got the fans coming back.
Yeah.
How much does that feed into your adrenaline and also firing you up?
I mean, I feel like it helps.
Yeah.
Certain players, it's a little bit different. a lot of players, they feed off it. I feel like I'm a player that feeds off it. But at the same time, even when things ain't going right, I can kind of just chill with it. Like, I'm going to show my fire and stuff on the field, but I'm not going to be, like, overly doing it. Like, I may have a good play, and then, the people on defense talking, I ain't going to say nothing back to them. But after the course of the game, if I'm, do what I'm doing, eventually you're going to hear something that's going to come out.
Darrington sounds like he need to go in the boom boom room. We're going to have to put Darrington in the boom boom room.
We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll definitely do that. So was it always football? Like growing up as a kid, did you just dream of playing in the NFL, or did you enjoy other sports too?
Man, I enjoyed other sports. Football was probably the one I fell in love with the most. I had an older brother. We all played. When I tell you, everybody in my house did. So my older sister, she ran track, had scholarships for that. My older brother, he played football. He went to college for that. My other sister, she played basketball in high school, and then I'm the youngest of four. So with me, I played baseball, basketball, football, ran track. I did everything but play organized soccer. I played soccer on the side, but it's not organized. And, mainly with my family's a baseball family. My uncle played for the Phillies. My dad, he got drafted and stuff, MLB, but I don't think he went to play. But, I just chose to follow what my brother did. He played football, so I was like, all right, I want to do that route.
Who's the fastest?
Bloodline series.
Yeah. Who's
Bloodline
the fastest
series.
in your family?
Me.
Or you?
Yeah, me.
Best athlete?
Yeah.
You?
Look, we had this debate
That's
every
what I was
time I
going
go
to say.
home.
Is that the competitive
I was going to
spirit
say,
talking right here?
you said a
Yeah.
track and field sister. I have a feeling that she might disagree with you, right?
Yeah, she was fast, but her 100 times don't match up with mine. So I'll take that crown.
Was that win aided or not, though?
No win.
Oh, okay, no win.
So youngest of four, and everybody in the family is like a world-class athlete. Like, how competitive were you guys with each other growing up? Like,
Yeah, I would say it was real competitive because the thing is, it's like my brother, he's 7 years older than me, and I was like trying to do everything. Like when we were growing up and stuff, I'm playing with him and all my older cousins. I'm not playing with people my age, so I feel like that's probably what helped me in the long term. But it's competitive in the classroom with the report cards. Who had the best report card coming home? It was me and my sister that's right above me. We always talk about who's the smartest. I feel like I was. Our GPAs are about the same but stuff, but she'll swear she's the smartest child my mom has.
Yeah.
So we were competitive with everything.
So when y'all get together for like Thanksgiving and stuff like that, all these stories keep coming back and
crazy.
And I'll bet that like all y'all tell the story different way too.
Yeah.
Like, depending on what the event was.
My dad swears he's the best athlete in the house.
Yeah.
And then my brother's like he's the best running back that's came through the family, and I'm like, well, I feel like I'm the best athlete, the best running back, basketball, baseball player, track runner. So it's definitely real competitive.
So would you like compete for like every little thing, like first one to the dinner table, like all that stuff?
Look, we got my dad a Pac-Man machine for Christmas. So mind you, I'm up here. They're playing it, sending me all these videos. Oh, I got the high score. My dad talking trash to everybody in the house.
So he's getting reps in, and you're not.
I went home. Literally my second game, I broke this man high score. He was quiet the whole time I was home. I haven't heard a word from him.
Ruined the trip.
I haven't seen him play the Pac-Man game since.
You should get one of those digital lights, and like plug it in and put it on the wall and say high score Darrynton Evans, and it just rolls by in red, Like,
and it's funny because like everybody in the house was hearing them for months, just talk. Oh, y'all can't beat my high score. Y'all can't beat my high score. I still get text messages and calls saying like your dad still has not touched that game.
And the funny thing is, like, you're not old enough to have grown up playing Pac-Man necessarily, right?
I played it.
Oh, you did?
Hey,
you did? Okay.
When you got older siblings and stuff that's old enough to do all this stuff, I pretty much lived the same way they did growing up.
I got you.
I didn't think about that. If your brother's 7 years older, it's about that time.
My older sister, she's 16 years older than me.
So you're basically like 30.
Yeah.
Just sitting here, right? Like
they say it all the time in the locker room. I'm an old soul.
Old soul. That's what I was going to say.
Darrington Evans, Titans running back with us at Buffalo Wild Wings. We got more with Darrington coming up at this really awkward distance. Me and Slay and Don are right up on top of each other, but Titans organization, they listen all the time. We are nowhere near Darrington Evans. But more from Darrington. We'll figure out some more stories from the childhood and what led him to this position. Come by and see us, Buffalo Wild Wings, Nashville West. Autographs, pictures, all of that is possible here for sure. Darrington Evans with us on 104.5 The Zone. Buffalo Wild Wings on Charlotte, Nashville West. That's where we are. Be here till 6 o'clock. Titans running back Darrington Evans is here.
What's good? What's good?
He's in the building.
He grew up in a very competitive household, if you're just tuning in. Like, literally everybody won a gold medal in the Olympics in his house. But Darrington is, and he'll tell you, he's the smartest and the best athlete, right, in the house?
All of the above.
And Pac-Man champion.
Hey, all of the above.
That's outstanding. So what was high school life like, playing high school football in the state of Florida?
Man, it's crazy. It's like you may have a team that's you think is good until you get to maybe close to getting the playoff time, and then you start seeing some of these other teams. Like, I know personally, my high school, we went undefeated my freshman year.
New Smyrna Beach,
yeah, we went
Florida.
undefeated my freshman year, and then, like, after that, everything just fell off. It's like talent is just going from school to school. So you may have a good team one year, and then the next year, everybody wants to go to the next school that's in the county. So everybody transfers. So it's like literally everything you see that's going on in college with everybody leaving and going to, like, we had people that went to 4 different high schools in 4 years and win a state championship on different teams.
Because they're just chasing the ring.
They chasing the ring.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it kind of gives you a good sense, like if you're a dad of a kid, like that's a good, kind of history to kind of dial back in and understand what's important, right? Like,
it is, but it isn't. Like, I know for me, I had plenty of opportunities to leave and go to other schools, but I was like,
you stuck it out.
Yeah, my main thing, I'm just trying to get recruited. Coming from a small city, that was my main thing. Get recruited. I could go to a team and share a whole bunch of touches and win a state championship, or I could stay here and get the ball and go to school for free. So that was my main thing.
Y'all got a bunch of people from down your way that are successful in basketball and football. You want to outside of your family. What were some of the people that you ran into and kind of left an imprint on you, and you were like, man, you know what? I might be able to reach that goal too.
Growing up, honestly, mostly was my family. I had a lot of family members go to school. My cousin Dakota Dixon played at Wisconsin. He was with Tampa for 2 years. Cole Holcomb, we went to high school, played together. We all grew up together. He's with the Washington football team right now, linebacker. Raheem Mostert, running back for the 49ers. We grew up together. He played with my brother and stuff. We're real close. Who else? Dallas Baker, older family member.
Florida.
Went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
so we got a national championship. Then he got a Super Bowl with Pittsburgh. So, I mean, we deep.
Yeah, Slay doesn't like those Florida Gator guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we balls up through around here. You know what I mean? But,
man. Hey, I feel bad for you.
I was a basketball player, Darrington. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Open it up,
though, man. I remember, if I go down memory lane, man. I remember Appalachian State coming in there. And,
hey, I was there.
Yeah, I was spanking y'all up, in basketball plenty of times. I'm just saying. Now, football is, y'all was doing y'all thing.
I was going to say.
We about got y'all in 2016 in football, too.
Yeah, y'all came down there and knocked on the door. I ain't knocking that. I don't even know how y'all got in the yard, but y'all got in, knocked on the door. We had to send y'all about y'all way. But great effort, you know what I mean? Talking about App State, man, what were some of your fondest memories about going there?
Man, it's crazy because it's like most of the games that everybody would think would be like my greatest memories, like I don't even know if like that would be my greatest memory. So like we had a game versus Charlotte. I think I had like 234 yards, 3 touchdowns rush, and then like a kickoff return touchdown.
Wow.
And like people like, oh yeah, that had to be your favorite game. Like really, my favorite game was probably my last game or my last 2 games, like my conference championship game. And it's like just because like that was my last home game at App with something on the line. Yeah. And like I feel like that would probably be like the most memorable game to me. But crazy game was when we played Penn State. That was my first game back from I had redshirted my second year. So I played my true freshman year. I redshirted my second year. And then my third year I came back and we played Penn State. Mind you, I haven't touched the ball since my freshman year in our bowl game. Yeah. And the last time I touched it was a kickoff return for a touchdown in the bowl game. Yeah. Miss a year, come back, my first time touching the ball, taking 100 yards versus Penn State for a touchdown. So it's like...
I might have quit after that.
It's wild, bro. Yeah. It's wild, bro. But I'd say definitely that Penn State game up there, too. That kind of solidified everything.
How many times do the old heads come back and you hear about that 2017 going up to Michigan?
Man, that's all you hear about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy to say, like, you get tired of hearing about it. Like,
Right.
that was our motivation for, like, every year at App. It's like, all right, we gotta go 12-0. We trying to go New Year's 6.
Right.
We don't care what Power 5 team on the schedule. We gotta knock them off.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, going into my last year, we played North Carolina and South Carolina.
Yeah.
We knocked them both off.
Yeah.
So that was our main thing. It was like we didn't came up. My freshman year was close with Tennessee. We played Miami. We lost to them. We were close with Wake Forest. We played Georgia the year they went to the Natty. And then we played, who else we played the year after that? We played Penn State, lost to them in OT. It's like we like keep coming to overtime and lose, overtime and lose. We're like, bro, we can't let this happen no more.
Right.
So that was our main motivation. We trying to be different from everybody. We tired of hearing about Michigan in 07. We trying to be the team that everybody talking about. So good luck to them boys this weekend. They play Miami this weekend.
Yes, they do.
In Miami.
Miami coming off a tough one, too, against Bama.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was ugly.
They were exposed.
Very much so.
Everybody's going to be exposed.
I know. Well, I don't know. I'm telling you, 2 weeks from now, Ole Miss and Alabama.
Like that one, huh?
You watched, I'm assuming you watched that game last night. Scott Satterfield, who's the head coach at Louisville, did he recruit you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's the one that recruited you at App State.
Yep.
What's he like? And you still talk to him and some of the coaching staff there at Louisville?
I still talk to the whole staff there. You know, Scott, he's a family guy, and it's crazy, like, coming out of high school, like, being recruited by him and the coaching staff there. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, App State first offered me for defensive back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they first offered me for defensive back, and then we ended up having, like, 6 defensive backs sign in our signing class. So then we're like, all right, we see you play both sides of the ball. We're going to use you on offense. So when I got on offense, it was like, we don't know whether to put you at running back or to put you at receiver. So I signed as an athlete. So my freshman year in college, I was at receiver. Then my second year, my freshman year, I was at receiver. Then we had some running backs go down. Then I switched back to running back. And then that spring, I went back to receiver. And then we had some more running backs go down. So I went back to running back. So I was kind of back and forth my first 2.5 years at App until I actually, like, all right, coach, I'm tired of going back and forth. I need a position to focus on. And then I ended up staying at running back, and I'm here now.
It worked out okay. What do you think?
Hey, you know, it's a blessing. You know, I enjoyed my time going back and forth. You know, I was able to be close with the whole offensive staff versus just one position coach and then, you know, the guys in my group. I was literally cool with everybody on the team, coaches, staff for the whole offense, and it's like I actually had a close relationship with everybody because I was in every meeting room at some point.
Yeah. So you have the knowledge, too, offensively of a bunch of different positions.
I knew everything.
I was going to say, because you had to.
Yeah.
And then also your time as a wide receiver. I mean, we talk about backs and getting them involved in the pass game a little bit. I mean, that's something clearly you feel extremely comfortable in.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
What a weird answer that was.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Game plan.
I love it. Hey, what was high school? What was recruiting like for you? How did you end up at App State?
Man, so really, I would say they came and found me. So I was the lowest rated player in my recruiting class signed to App. But it wasn't like I wasn't getting recruited. Like I had like 20-something offers, but they were all just, you know, smaller schools. But I was like always, growing up, I was always the smallest dude on the field. I didn't grow until I got to college. Until after signing day, I had a growth spurt my freshman year going into college, and then that was when I got as big as I am now.
So when you were a senior, how tall were you? Like what?
I was probably like 5'7".
Okay.
Maybe 5'7".
So you had all this speed, but people just look at the size and don't even look at the tape probably at that point.
No, they don't. You know, back then I was playing more defensive back in high school until my last year. We got a different head coach, and he didn't like us playing both sides of the ball. So he was like, we need somebody on offense. Defense pretty good, so I only played offense. So all the teams that were recruiting me for defense, they kind of went away because I didn't have no film on it my senior year. But, you know.
Wow.
Like, I had offers, but it's just, you know, when push come to shove, all right, we need him on offense instead of defense, and having no film, all those other offers went away. So it was kind of, my last couple schools was USF, App, and then a whole bunch of, like, MAC schools and Sunbelt.
I mean, do you ever think back, like, man, like, to my senior in high school self and think, This is amazing. Like, I mean, this is absolutely amazing. So you get the opportunity to App State, you grow.
Yeah.
And then now you're in the NFL.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a story.
Yeah.
That's a story.
And I talk about it all the time when all my older friends and family members that's also in the NFL or been in the NFL or going through their journey right now. It's like everything aligned up perfect. Mm-hmm. As crazy as it seemed for me in the moment, like everything aligned up perfect to get to where I'm at. Like it was definitely a blessing.
So was that tough for you? Just like individually, like to be the small guy and watch your friends grow and all that stuff? Like, was that hard?
Hard, not really, because I'm cool with the people at our rival school. So my brother, actually, he played at my rival high school, and that's the high school that had all the guys getting recruited to Florida State, Miami.
Yeah.
And then I'm at New Smyrna. I'm like, I'm on the same level as these guys. Like we grew up together playing against each other, playing with each other on the same football, basketball, baseball teams, and they all like, why D ain't got no offers? Like, we got Miami, Florida, but every time we play, we gotta focus on him. Yeah. Like if we don't stop him, we will lose this game. So it's like, it was crazy in that aspect, but I never really thought about it that way. I was just like, this is how it is.
This is how it is. Yeah.
This is how it is.
Did you use it as motivation on some level?
I mean, not really. I was never really too worried about it.
Yeah.
Like even when
it's just you hear the saying like it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah, I mean that saying goes so far until you get to college. Like you can't teach size. So I understood it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really mad at it. I understood you can't teach size, you can't teach speed. So I have one of the two. I didn't have the other one. So I just made the most of what I had with my speed and just use that to my advantage.
Let me ask you this: you seem like a well-rounded, humble young man.
But confident also.
Yeah, but confident without question. Yeah,
don't give the man a Pac-Man.
Yeah, supposed to be. Yeah, supposed to be. But come from a good family background. What adversity did you go through? Because you're going through adversity now.
Yeah.
And to go through this the way you are, head high, staying confident. And anyway, what you're portraying anyway,
yeah.
What adversity did you go through when you were younger that you can remember where you're like, I look back on it now and I pull from that, this is actually okay to go through.
Yeah, I would say when I was in what grade was I think my junior year of high school, my oldest sister, she ended up getting shot, but she's still alive. But it was just a crazy incident. It's like 3 a.m, hearing my mom crying. I'm like, what's going on? And then, I'm the youngest.
Right.
And, it's just a crazy world, wrong place, wrong time, had nothing to deal with it. Somebody just doing whatever they doing, and then she was just in the way. And, that kind of, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, like, I ain't go to summer workouts for, like, 2 weeks.
Right.
Because, like, my mom, they had the incident happened in North Carolina. We stay in Florida. My parents was gone, so we...
Right.
With my aunt and, my grandma and stuff. So that was like kind of the first thing. And then when I get to college, my last year, my mom was dealing with cancer.
Right.
Then my rookie year last year, my dad dealing with cancer.
Right.
So it's like, you kind of learn how to like, I ain't gonna say deal with it, but just keep pushing.
Right.
You gotta get strong on your faith for real.
Right. That's real. So you look at a guy, younger guy like a Caleb Farley that comes in, he dealt with the same situations. How many times, I don't know how much defense and offense interact. I know everybody's seen that. Yeah, yeah. How much is that pressure to be able to lean on somebody that went through something like that and be able to talk to through this?
I mean, it ain't pressure because I know like, I would want somebody to do that for me.
Right.
Like I know when I came in last year, like Corey Davis was the guy I leaned on. Corey, anytime he felt like I was down, he'll come talk to me.
Yeah.
Check on me.
Yeah.
So I tell him all the time, hey, like, thank you. Like, I needed that. Not knowing then, but, like, looking at it now, like, I needed that.
Yeah, that was big.
When it comes to the rookies now, every time I talk to every single last one when I see them, how you doing? How your family doing?
Right.
Everything going, like, outside of football to make sure, they mind right. Because I know how I was last year coming in with, especially with COVID, not knowing what to expect. And just everything being different. So it's like, having that helping hand, somebody who can help like make everything a little bit more comfortable with all the stress going on will probably make you perform a lot better.
Let me ask you,
Corey's such a great guy. Like, I think that point needs to be made.
Right.
We've talked about that. Mm-hmm. I was so glad to see him have that year last year. And he's a really serious, like, business, like, but I could see him being in tune with you because people don't understand, like, when you're injured in the NFL, you almost can feel like you're not even a part of the team.
Yeah.
So that's got to be tough to go through,
It's
especially
crazy.
as a rookie.
Yeah, because it's like you seen everybody else practicing and playing in the games, and you're like, man, like, I want to be out there.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, you got to wait. You got to wait until whatever gets right.
If you got one piece of advice, because you say, you had older guys talk to you, and I'm sure that happened, you growing up, also when you got to college and things of that nature. We're in a time now, and this outside of, professional, but high school and now in college, we're at a time now where, you got the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Also, you got kids, like you said, this is new to me in Tennessee, like being able to transfer schools, and they've been doing that in Florida. But what advice would you give as far as a kid being able to stick it out like you did, or maybe the grass is a little greener on the other side of the fence, but
yeah, I tell the young dudes all the time, I would say just run your race. You looking at somebody else's situation, that's going to, knock you off your path. Because all the guys that I named earlier that was in the NFL, they all had a very, very similar path to me. With Dakota at Wisconsin, he went in, he played, he got hurt, he had to wait. And then when he got his time to shine, he did his thing and was in the NFL. Cole Holcomb was a walk-on at UNC. He, he grinded it out, ended up getting on scholarship late, ended up being a draft pick. Myself, the same thing coming in. I played as a freshman. I wasn't playing every play, but I was playing.
Right.
I had a year off, came back, still was, wasn't the number one guy. Kind of waited my turn. Once I got my turn, now I'm here. So it's like I've seen other guys do it. So, I feel like that's one reason why I would say run your race. And then I've also seen other guys in high school go from team to team to team trying to chase a ring and then don't get recruited.
Right.
Then I've seen dudes that, may have gotten recruited, but they still got that same high school mindset and try and go to another school. And then you with a whole different coaching staff that didn't recruit you. So,
see, that's a dangerous mindset in life too. Looking for that next great thing, right?
Yeah.
Like not focusing in on what you're doing now.
Yeah, you got to live in the moment.
That's it. All right, when we come back, Titans running back Darrington Evans. More with him. Boom Boom Room, Tyler.
I think he need to go.
You've earned your trip into the Boom Boom Room.
Yes, he has.
Titans running back Darrington Evans as we broadcast live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Nashville West. We'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. our buddy Titans running back, Darrynton Evans, has been phenomenal.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
really
telling you,
good
man,
combo.
when you're willing to open up like you've opened up, and I know, like, you probably think, like, I'm willing to talk about anything. You never know, like, doing this job, you never know what people are going through listening to the show.
Look, you never know until, you know what I'm saying, you actually had that one-on-one personal conversation.
There you go.
That's right. All right, we've got a lot to do because Darrington's got to get in the Boom Boom Room. He earned that opportunity.
Got it.
But
Tickets.
earned in quotes.
Tennessee tickets.
Tennessee,
it's
Pittsburgh.
UT Ticket Tuesday,
Yes,
too,
UT Ticket Tuesday. So we do this every Tennessee before Tennessee home games. I always talk about it. And now's your chance. And we're going easy because we want to get Darrington in the Boom Boom Room. So caller number 5 right now, 615-737-1045 is your chance to win 2 tickets to see the Tennessee Vols take on Pittsburgh this Saturday.
Pittsburgh.
At Neyland Stadium. This is a
3.5 point favorite.
Huge game for them.
Huge game. Speaking of tickets, Kelly with Buffalo Wild Wings has a pair of club-level tickets to the Titans-Cardinals game, the opener this Sunday. So, Joe Hunt, we need another winner there. We just need an email address so Kelly can transfer the tickets to you. And just as appreciation for you guys listening, you know, we'll do those live on site from time to time. We'll do them for you guys listening on radio from time to time. But thank you, and get with Hunk, 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 there, too. Rich, do you have another box with tickets? He's got to go get it. So let's go. We're going to give away a pair of Titans tickets to somebody that came to Buffalo Wild Wings with us. Again, next week we'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings in Hermitage. Jayon Brown will be the player guest. Jayon Brown, who has never tackled Darrynton Evans on the practice field, right?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Jayon got me a few times. Yeah.
All right, Slade.
All right, check this out, Darrynton, man. Glad you came on today, but now you are about to enter the Boom Boom Room. If you agree to tell everything truthfully and honestly to any question that I ask you, the only way you can get out the Boom Boom Room is by doing that. So,
all right, cool.
You agree?
Let's get it.
Huh? Lock the door, baby.
Ah, yes. One man on his way into the Boom Boom Room.
Okay.
That was not Morgan Freeman.
Even though it sounded like it.
That was Frank Caliendo as Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So, here we go. Darrynton, most embarrassing thing with you being the youngest that you done to your older siblings?
Oh, let me think about that. Man.
See, my sisters would, I'm the oldest, like you, I'm the oldest of 12, though. And my sisters would come to my game and holler out, my name is Ron Slade. And I told everybody that.
Oh,
so they'll come to the game and be running up to me and say, Ronald. And I'm like, come on, man, that ain't cool.
You just brought something to me. Anytime I'm in public with my sisters and stuff, like say we in the store, the mall, oftentimes I'll scream, oh, like just start yelling, just just get a whole bunch of attention. They'll be like, stop. I do that. I like to have a lot of fun with them.
So you're aggravated too. Yeah. So you one of them. All right. So you go home for the holidays. What's something that you gotta have? Ooh. Whether it be a meal, whatever it may be, what you gotta have.
First meal my mom making, she make homemade chicken and biscuits.
Ooh,
it's crazy.
Ooh,
crazy.
We got to invite us down from one of them right there.
That's the first one, but then right after that, probably be they'll do like a huge seafood. Mm-hmm. We do snow crabs, blue crabs, shrimp, sausage, eggs, everything.
Heavy. Love it. So you said you're an old soul. A lot of people know you as an old soul. You know me, youngest of a lot. If you had a taste in music, what are you going to listen to? Old or new? Rap, I'm talking about.
Ooh. See, I don't really listen to new rap right now.
You slow jam guy.
Yeah, I like listening to R&B.
Okay, so there we. That's even better. Here we go. So where you going? Where you going? Little old Anita Baker, and you know what I mean? I was like, you gonna go on up to Usher and.
I'll probably listen to Usher. That's kind of what I grew up on listening to.
Yeah,
with my sister and stuff. You know, she used to play it all the time.
Really? Okay.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. There you go. Usher Raymond.
Yeah, it is. What? All right, you got last question. Now I'm gonna let you out of the boom boom room, the bathroom. I'm gonna let him out the boom boom room. You feed off adrenaline from the crowd. Your moment in a game when you sat back after it and was like, damn, I did that.
Like what game have I ever been like that?
No, what play? Was it a play like you hurdled somebody? A game? You said you played a lot of sports.
Oh, yeah.
You had a grand slam or?
It was It was my last year at App State. We played Georgia State. I think it was a midweek game. Ran through inside zone play. Ran through. It was a safety, lowered my shoulder. He hit me, and I kind of like caught, like I fell on him.
Yeah.
And like put my hand down and caught myself. So everybody thought I was tackled, but
I saw that play.
Took over.
Yeah,
I saw that play.
It's in the highlight reel for the draft.
Yeah.
Darrington, good job, man. You are out of the Boom Boom Room, brought to you by Low T.
Darrington, great job, man. Thanks for coming down to Buffalo Wild Wings. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for having me.
We now take a moment to raise a Miller Lite on this Titans Football Feast Tuesday to toast our fabulous sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings and Miller Lite. But most importantly, our beloved Titans. Tighten up. Cheers. Winners in the house, Joseph Mitchell and Lewis have won Titans tickets. Hunk, take us out of here.
We're gone.
See ya.
Coming up tomorrow on Blaine and Mickey.
Get through your hump day.